Howdy guys, Radio Magic here. I hope you're all having a fantastic morning, evening or day, whatever you're up to and wherever you are. We are back with yet another Kaladesh Remastered draft. As I've said on every one so far, I've been loving these so much. I'm really enjoying this limited format along with Zendikar Rising as well. Both of them I think have been outstanding. But yeah, let's jump into pack one, pick one and waste no more time. So pretty outstanding rare. Say outstanding rare, really good. It's a one drop that can build a board. It's really good for your improvise mechanics, depending on what color you pair this with, and then it can just make some big boy creatures in the late game. Pretty good. Gifted Aetherborn, other noticeable pick in the pack. Not too much else here. We'd be happy with a Tiger, Prison map. There's actually quite a few good cards. Welding Spark, but I think we're just going to take the Sage Lifecrafter and be happy with that. Blossoming Defense, there's a really good chance that we get something out of this pack, and we'll try and determine what our second colour is in a minute. So, pack 2, I've just been blown out by Nature's Way every time I come against it. Target creature you control gains Vigilance and Trample to end of turn, and then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature. So it bites, not fights, as the term is, which means that the creature can typically still attack on the turn you use this, which is really good. We also have Fabrication Module, which we would definitely play. Fabrication Module is going to go really well in a green energy list as well. Also, if we end up not being green because it's cut off, then Fabrication Module might be quite good. But that being said, the best card in the last pack I think was Gifted Aetherborn outside of our pick. The next best pick, so hopefully they haven't taken a green card, so maybe green's still open. So I'm probably just going to take the removal spell with Nature's Way and be happy with that. But Fabrication Module is quite good as well. There's also Daring Demolition, which is worth noting. Okay, here, so if we picked up Fabrication Module, the other module might have been quite good as well, which could have been a shout. Apart from that, what do we have? We have Welding Sparks if we want just a pretty solid removal spell, but we have Sky Whaler's Shot as well. Druid of the Cow. I think if I'm going to go into a colour combination, I'd rather go into Gruul than I would Selesnya. So I'm probably leaning Welding Sparks above that, but we don't even have to go into a second colour. We could stick with Druid of the Cow if we wanted to, which I think might be the shout. Or we just speculate on maybe taking a Welding Sparks. Not sure. I think there's more energy synergy. I don't know. But all the colours have sort of got some form of energy synergy. I think it's worth speculating. We'll go over Welding Sparks. Like I said, I'd rather be Gruul than Selesnya. Just a matter of preference, I believe. So if we'd have gone Selesnya, we'd have had a Revoke Privileges here. We have a Blossoming Defense, a Tune with Aether, which is all good. Druid of the Cow. So, not too disappointed. If we'd have taken the white card, I don't think we'd be taking one of these. Maybe taking the Revoke Privileges. But, as it goes, we're probably just going to be taking a Blossoming Defense. Maybe Druid of the Cow. Probably just going to take Blossoming Defense. It's more likely that Druid's going to come back round. Blossoming Defense being an uncommon, less likely to come back round. Really good combat trick for 1 mana and can protect a creature. So, pretty happy with that. Yeah, and we can ditch the Welding Sparks if we want to at some point. That being said, though, there is a second Welding Sparks here, so I think that might be the pick. They're pretty good removal spells. There is an Aether Hub here, which we would be happy with, but we haven't really got any energy bits at the moment. So we're not going to lean too hard into energy, and we're not splashing a colour. So we're going to stick on the Gruul plan and just take a pretty good removal spell and aim to pick up some creatures in the future. Okay, so pretty good choices here. We've either got a Outrider or an Aether Chaser, and I don't know which one the better pick is. Probably the Outrider. Overall, just more powerful. The Aether Chaser is really good as well. Having First Strike can stall the board for quite a while. I don't know which one's more likely to come back round. Probably just keep cutting green. Yeah. I guess Aether Chaser is better with like energy if we were going into that route. Yeah, we'll take the Outrider. I'm not sure which card's better, which one should be taking under them circumstances. So here, not sure what we're taking. I don't think this is good enough. Probably just take something in case we've got like some revolt. Though I don't think there's much revolt in these colours, but if we want to fix mana, this could be quite good. Or we could take the Gremlin. As I've mentioned in some of my previous drafts, the ability to destroy artifacts is pretty useful. I think we are going to take Gremlin, actually. And I quite like a Prison here. I prefer that above the Puzzle Knot. Prison's an all-round good card. That being said, another Prison coming up. I don't know if we're in the colours that want multiple prisons. I guess in red you've got quite a bit of improvise. So prisons are really good at triggering revolt, and this is just what he's talking about, so we're probably going to go with this. Hopefully a 5 mana 6/6. We are running a little bit low on creatures, so we're going to have to sort of prioritise taking them. I really can't stand the Frontline Rebel. So we've got 2 removal spells in red, but that doesn't mean we have to be in there. Hopefully we open some pretty good Gruul cards for some payoffs. Not too much in this pack. Quite far away from Gonti. I don't feel like changing colour just for Gonti. If we wanted to splash more, we could take the Wanderer. Could take the Vehicle. I quite like the idea of a Vehicle. Works really well with our Nature's Way as well. We do need to make sure we pick up enough creatures. I think this is a conversation between Vehicle and Chaser. And I think I'm just going to take the Vehicle and hope that we pick up some creatures later on. Since there's probably a good chance we'll pick up enough creatures to make the list playable. You normally have to make some difficult cuts in this format. Oh, this really wants us to be in white. And if we stay just with what we've got Revelation. I wonder if it's worth taking this and like splashing red instead. I think this is exceptional. I think we'll take it and speculate. We're giving up on a Revelation, but I think this is good anyway. And even in a 3 mana, I guess the actual body isn't that great, but the ability to be able to reanimate your other vehicles is pretty good. I think we're going to speculate on it. We're just passing up on a Revelation, which is good. Like it's nothing to scoff at, but I think it's worth having a look to see what we're going to get. Here, probably taking a Wanderer is something to crew our vehicles. And we only have 3 creatures at the moment, so we probably should just be taking creatures. Need to make sure we have enough by the end of the draft. So, pick here. There's not too much in our colours. This pack overall feels quite weak. If we're going to splash red instead, then we'll probably want to take a white card here. I'm debating between Mastodon and Inspector. Ideally, I'd like both of them to be a bit lower on the curve. But I guess we're just going to pick up one of these, and I think I'd rather have Mastodon, since if we're not in white and we end up playing red instead, then at least we can play the Mastodon if we're just low on creatures. So it looks like red might be being cut off. It looks like black's quite open. But I think we're just going to take the Renegade, since we can trigger Revolt quite easily in this list with the 2 prisons. I like another Outrider here. I like it above Puzzle Knot. Puzzle Knot's a bit lower on the curve, which is good, but I think Outrider's overall just a much better creature. And we kind of want to prioritize, unless we're getting bombs, just entire creatures at this point. Tiger, again, quite far up the curve, but willing to play it since it's so powerful. What of all these high drops? I'm just taking this. At least it can crew our vehicles. So nothing we're really playing here. We might end up playing a Pyrohelix. So we could end up just splashing white for this and just play red. It depends on what sort of works out with the lower part of our curve. Not really much here that I'm looking to play. So I'm picking up a little bit more red. I guess we'll keep our reasons to play red here. I think we're struggling a little bit with early drops. I guess Frontline Rebel is a creature, though I don't really want to play it. So really want to shore up our early game here and maybe some removal. We have some okay cards to close the game. Not the most powerful list I've seen. Overall, a lot of the packs have been fairly weak. Don't really have any ways to spend our energy at the moment. We have Tiger. We can make a creature block. Still got one more pack to go though, so high hopes. So Volcanic Brawler is probably exactly what we wanted to open. Early drop that can apply some pressure. And I think it's more likely that we're going to be splashing white. We can run a few islands to maybe activate this. And if that's the case, we'll probably cut the Renegade. Equally, the Cobra might come back round, which I'd be really happy with. But we're going to take Brawler. Brawler's a good way to spend energy. It's a good energy payoff at the same time. There's a few cards in here we'd be happy with. Probably Fanatic, Chandra's Revelation. Yeah, and we've got enough red cards. I think we're more likely to play red at this point. I don't think we have many dwarfs. We have one dwarf and two vehicles, so probably not worth playing. And we've already established we're more likely to play red than white. We're just going to splash the white. So it's probably just a Harness Lightning. Which, you know, I'm not completely miserable with. We've fixed our creature count now. We did pass a Hunt to the Weak in the last pack. And I think we're going to pass one this time as well, because I'd rather just the early flexibility of a Harness Lightning. Okay, so got the options between Chandra's Revelation, Welding Sparks, and Heroic Intervention. And I think I'm just leaning Welding Sparks. We have quite a lot of removal at this point. And you can't really have too much removal. So, pretty happy with that. How many Artificers do we have? 3, so Inventor's Goggles probably isn't worth it, and it's sort of too late to pick it up at this point. I wonder if we just want to take a 2-drop. Or maybe we have 5 artifacts, so maybe the Brawler's worth it. We only have one 2-drop creature at this point. We probably just want to take another 2-drop. Really wish we were playing blue. Not my favourite 2-drop, but we'll take one. Probably just going to be a Monitor here. Hungry Flames is good as well. So we're still cutting cards at this point. Cutting Rebel, we're cutting one of these. I think Hungry Flames. I'm just looking to kill our opponent's creatures. So we don't really have that many artifacts to trigger the goblins, and I don't have all of my inspired advantages yet. I don't have none of them, and we would play this in the list because we have Colossus, so I'm probably just going to take inspired advantage here. We also have enough playables at this point as well. Probably just another 2-drop. Shore up the early game the best we can. So this list just has an insane amount of removal. We have like 1 revolt trigger in the list. It will help us splash the white, I guess. Or we'll just trade it 1-for-1 for a land. Nice. I like the Speedboat Fanatic. Good way to get in early damage, and we have 2 vehicles in the list that wants to crew. Do we take the Gremlins or we take the Mastodon? I think we take the Gremlins as our only 3-drop creature at the moment. And we have Prophetic Prisons and Maps to trigger it. Take an uncommon for the Vault. So we've got pretty much our list at the moment. So we have a land. We're trading this off for a land. So that's 25. So we need to cut 2 more cards. Since... Are we playing the maximum amount of lands? I guess we have no mana sinks. We have no mana sinks to my knowledge, so no reason to... Colossus doesn't really count as a mana sink, I don't think. So currently 17 lands. I think we want to cut 1. And just trade that for map. So in the removal department, this is one of the limited lists that I've had the highest amount of removal in, probably. Really like to cut this if possible. And we're splashing like 2 plains or something. So we'll probably play Mastodon just for something in the top of the curve. I think we want to cut 1 prison. We have a few ways to trigger revolt. Don't think we need to run 2. We have 2 gremlins, I guess, that kind of wants us to use them, and a Welding Sparks, 3 Welding Sparks. So we're on 16 lands with the map. I don't think we can really drop any lower. So we need to find 1 more cut. I guess we can cut a land, actually. We have Wanderer. Maybe that's too much. I think that might be too greedy. Yeah, we'll cut Prison, I guess. I can't really think of what else to cut. The list looks pretty good. Because Prison is a one-off white source, or we could cut a creature that can tutor for the white source. Prison helps with Revolt, but the white sources that we want are permanently active. We want them all the time. So Colossus is going to be really good with our other vehicle. We didn't really pick up any more vehicles to make it worth it. So I wonder if we even play the white and we just cut this. I can see just cutting this. I picked it up because I thought it'd be useful, but we didn't really... The plan didn't really come together. And as a 3 mana crew 4, just a 6 power, not that great. Yeah, I can see cutting vehicle. In that case, do we want to play Mastodon? Probably not. And we'll just play no white. Cut the Inspired Advantage as well. We'll add an extra land in. Well, I guess this is 16 lands. With map. And we need to add 2 cards now, going the other way. Just prison back in. Probably brawler, since we have renegade map and prisons. Okay, so opponent's going first. This hand needs to draw a green source, but probably too slow. Probably going to take a mulligan. This hand's a bit better. We'd really like to find a red source now, but we shall keep. And I guess we'll bottom the Wanderer. If we're finding red source by the time we get to Wanderer, it's probably too late. I guess it's a way to guarantee hitting it, but we can always activate our Life Crafter. Red source right on time. So if our opponent attempts to block the Brawler, it's not going to work out too well. Since Welding Sparks is going to do its job. Nice. So we'd have to 2-for-1 ourselves if we wanted to attack here. We could just start to create tokens and try and take down this token. Feels like it's going to be a bit slow though. Probably our best bet. Opponent gets to tap something down. Yep, opponent's going to get in there. This does not have trample, but we shall take it. So we're going to create some artifacts for this Welding Sparks. So kind of need to create one more. Let's see if our opponent taps anything down. Yep, going to tap down Brawler. So we kind of have to take another hit from this token, which doesn't feel good. Which means we are attacking here. So we took 10 damage overall, so I'd say the card's done its worth. They're probably going to tap down Brawler here. I guess we could just create a creature. So it'd be a 4/4. It wouldn't quite be big enough. I guess we can't really attack here. So we can make a 4/4, and I guess one of our tokens could trade with it. No, let's stick with the original plan. Let's not take the damage. And then next turn we can start pumping out a 4/4, then a 5/5. So I guess Blossoming Defense would be one of our better draws. So we can still activate. It's 5 mana. So we won't be able to activate. I guess we can make a 1/1. They're probably gonna tap it down. Okay, opponent's just gonna concede. They must have had really nothing happening in hand. Okay, our opponent is going first, and I think they've decided to mulligan. This hand looks, yeah, really good. I think we're going to play Brawler on 2. It's more likely to be killed. But yeah, I think we're gonna do that. It hits a lot harder than the construct. And the construct works with the gremlins later on. So that it's interesting. We could go construct now, and then next turn we can go brawler, which actually might be better. No, I think I'd rather just get in the damage. And if our opponent's attempts to block next turn, we have a harness lightning. So let's just go to combat. And we shall pay the energy for the extra damage. And I think we're just going to play gremlins. We risk missing a land drop next turn, but we get some extra value from the construct. Both of our creatures will have trample. And we have blossoming defense, so we should be able to stop an opponent's removal spell here. Opponent missed a land drop as well, but it looks like we're going to miss land drop. Yep, green's fine. It's probably going to scry them towards a land. But outside of Fumigate, I think we should be okay. And I think I'm happy to spend... Yeah, we'll spend it. Just get an 8. Since we have Harness Lightning, which can give us more energy next turn, and Blossoming Defense, I think we're okay. And if our opponent's option here is just to remove one of our creatures, that should be game. Nice. So we can attack with everyone. I guess we may as well Harness Lightning the squad now. And just pay 1. Then we gain 2 energy for the brawler. Yep. Opponent stumbled a little bit. Couldn't get on board fast enough. Okay, opponent's going first. Looks like they've kept quite eagerly. And yeah, we're going to keep this. Really like to hit another forest, but looks pretty good. Ooh, Fretwork Colony. We should be able to take that out before it can grow too big. Yeah, we'll keep forest. I think we'll trade off here. Yeah, and we'll just untap Welding Sparks that. So this is quite sweet. We get to go Outrider. Probably going to make it 4-4. So I can attack past. And then we get to go Outrider map and then sacrifice the map on the next turn to trigger Revolt. We have our game plan. And our opponent's plan is to race. Let's see what they got to follow it up. Maybe an answer to the Outrider here. Nope, gonna connect. Just gonna make another one. Gonna make another 4-4. So our opponent did nothing with 5 mana. This screams board wipe, but we'll see. No revolt trigger as well. So thankfully the Outriders can just attack past. So let's attack him. We're seeing a subtle strike here. Ooh, this is the first time I've seen this played. Fortunately, we still get a 2 for 1, and we don't need to sacrifice map now. So opponent's fallen to 1. I don't think we're going to play anything else out. If they have a Fumigate here, we don't want to get caught by it too bad. This is okay. Yep. Okay, so our opponent's going first, and they have mulligan to 6. So we'll see if they mulligan anymore. I think we're going to keep this. If we don't top deck our land, we can play prison for a redraw. If we do, we'll play gremlins first into prison. So there's our land drop. Probably just going to hold up Harnessed Lightning now. No, probably gonna just play this out. Try and add some pressure. See if our opponent wants to trade. Since we're definitely going to be racing here. If we top deck a green source, we'll probably just play Outrider. Ooh, big boy vehicle. And our opponent's plan is to crew here. So I don't know if we can play Outrider now. I guess our plan is just to harness lightning. If we harness lightning, our opponent definitely crews in response. I guess if they crew, we're still going to use the energy, aren't we? I think our opponent has 2 cards in hand. I think we have to go for it. And we're going to lose the value on the gremlins, but I think we are going to play this now. Since if we top deck a land, we can Lifecraft as Cavalry to make it a 6/6. There's our land. Or we can make a token, hold up Blossoming Defense, and get in more damage with the gremlins. I think since we've got the Outrider, we're gonna... discard land. It feels bad, but we're in a position where if we draw lands, we can do stuff, or if we draw spells, we draw spells. So our opponent just crews here again, so we need to sacrifice prison to get Revolt trigger. Oh, I guess this doesn't. For some reason I thought prison sacrifices. We're going to have to... Do we just attack here? And when they eat one of our creatures, we can play the 6/6. I guess we can just trade with the vehicle. We'll have to 2-for-1 ourselves. Because Blossoming Defense with Gremlins will be enough. I guess we're going to have to get past this vehicle at some point. So it feels bad needing to 2-for-1 ourselves, but we have to get past this vehicle sometime. Aetherborn. So probably just attacking the Outrider and then playing the Cavalry. So we'll see what our opponent's got here, but we'll block. Feels like a good trade for us. Ooh. I mean, we're still attacking. Oh, it has First Strike? Wow, should really read my cards first. First Strike, Death Touch. Oh, okay. First Strike, Death Touch, Lifelink. Completely blanked there. So we lose our last card. Yeah, we're going to need a removal spell to beat this. Fortunately, we have tons of them. Just make sure I'm not blanking on anything else. Yeah. So we're going to try and keep our opponent's life total low, and I think we're going to block with a servo this turn. So 2 mistakes so far. Forgetting this gave First Strike. And thinking that Prison for some reason sacrificed itself to use it to trigger a Bolt. And there's a Welding Sparks. I guess we attack first. So we would have got some value there if we didn't throw our creature away. Since, while this card's quite good, it's really good with Gifted Aetherborn, obviously. First Strike, Death Touch. But you're typically going to 2-for-1 yourself, and this gets back an artifact when it dies. So it's going to get this back. But we still have to attack in here. Hopefully they don't have a Death Touch First Striker again. Are they going to get something else back? Oh, nice. They just want a creature. Maybe they're going to combine it with a removal spell. So going to hope to close the game away quickly. Hopefully the Welding Sparks is going to answer our opponent's next threat. It is dealing 5 damage. I think we'll take this. We're definitely winning this race. Opponent has 4 cards in hand though. So basically just want a creature off the top. I guess it's really good. We can crew and then sacrifice it to blow up the monitor. That and the Eager Construct. And then if their plan is to block, we have Welding Sparks as well as this. So yeah, we're representing lethal twice on board. Opponent's going to need 2 removal spells here. I don't know what we're going to die to. You just take it. I find it really strange that our opponent's still attacking. If they can deal 7 damage with 5 mana, this is fine. So yeah, our opponent needs 2 removal spells here. You got to accrue with the whole amount. Well, I guess it's still lethal, isn't it? It doesn't matter. So our opponent got very close. Even through our misplays, we managed to pull it across the line. Let's move on to the next game. Okay, so we are missing red mana, but I think we have to keep this hand since we have a 1-drop and we have our next few land drops lined up. Any land gives us the vehicle. Obviously, red off the top would be perfect. Currently 4-0, so we can make some mistakes at this point, though we don't want to. Hope your opponent doesn't have a fatal push. Ooh, nice. Poisoner. Okay, so we need to find a land next turn, but we can start making 1/1s so our opponent can't attack in. Oh, does our opponent have something, or did they just blank? They got a removal spell for this 1/1, fair enough. Oh, you got a revolt trigger? No, it looks like our opponent just blanked on that maybe. Unfortunately, we are not drawing lands. Hopefully our opponent's going to stumble a little bit. Buy us a little bit of time. That's fine, not adding too much pressure. Cobra's a little bit worse. Oh, red mana, there we go. Probably just going to go get another red source. Now we have our mana fixed. Just going to trade with the Poisoner if they attack here. Don't want it to keep making servos, and we have to kill it at some point, and then the Harness Lightning can answer the Cobra. Ooh. Depends if our opponent actually wants to attack, though. They do. They obviously consider their Cobra to be more valuable. I'm not sure why. So, Welding Sparks is currently dealing just 3 damage. So this gives us 2 energy. Harness Lightning gives us 3. So probably just going to use this to kill the Tusker, actually. Let's try and get our synergy off while we can. The Brawler's going to trade for this Cobra either way. Or it's just going to die to a die young. Ooh, nice. So our opponent has some big boys. Opponent's out of cards though, so if we can take over here. Probably just going to Welding Sparks Cobra before it can attack and crew. And this way we're just taking 1 at the moment. But I'm scared of a 2 power. Oh, here we go. Yeah, they can smack for 3 now. Probably just going to be forced to Welding Sparks this as well. At least we get to contribute something to the board. I hope our opponent blanks. No such luck. So we're going to be taking 6 again here. Gotta hope to draw something here. So we get to scry first, and then we get to draw. Don't want to land. Essentially drawing a card here. Wonder if we attack for 6 here and then chump. Since we can double crew, but then we're chumping anyway, aren't we? So we're probably just attacking. Hope our opponent doesn't have a removal spell. No removal spell. Opponent can hit us to 3 though. Are we just dead? So we can crew. Block, we'll take 4. Or we can chump, kill this, take 2. So we can attack for 9. Unfortunately 9 is not lethal. And then we're just dead on the way back, aren't we? So at the moment we can chump with the gremlins, block Cobra with the vehicle. And then we take 2 and go to 1. And then we need to top deck something next turn. So I guess that's the plan. We need our opponent to blank and draw land. Guess our opponent's not attacking for that much. They have to crew. So we're gonna block and kill this creature, the vehicle. And we'll take 1. Opponent probably kills the gremlins here. Or just kills us. That's fine. So we need our opponent to blank. They didn't blank. Yeah, they made the right choice probably by killing the gremlins. Only just dead though. Okay, so we're on the play. Probably going to keep this. Construct on 2, prison on 3. Really like a free drop to go with these. Oh, Turtle's going to be a little bit annoying. Oh, I'll probably play Brawler now. So opponent's in Simic. We're definitely going to take this. I'd rather risk taking the 1 and not die to a combat trick. Going to put some more power and toughness into play for the barge when that comes up. Probably not playing this next turn. And then we have our turns lined up, so probably not. I'm sure our opponent has some good artifacts to destroy. But next turn we're probably just going barge. And then next turn we're going outrider. So it doesn't really line up with our curve. And yep, if our opponent put the energy on, we were going to take that. So just going to go straight to combat. Really wish I had a Harness Lightning to punish that. Still trading 1 for 1, so not the end of the world. So opponent's going to get aggressive here. So probably just going to make this a 4-4. So it can attack past the Wanderer. And we'll attack with both. If they want to trade Wanderer for Construct, I'm okay with that. The less presence they have on board, the harder it's going to be to block this barrage. And then these are essentially 2 random cards now. Ooh. No, opponent. Fortunately, our opponent only has 1 energy left. So they can't pump this turtle anymore. I wonder if they leave back a blocker. Yeah, just in case. The barrage is going to be good at that. Just keeping our opponent back. Oh, unfortunately we don't have a way to trigger Revolt. So probably just playing it out. I guess a 4-4 is fine. Forces our opponent to chump. They're probably going to chump Scry. Ooh, unfortunate. Now it can't crew. Opponent's this turtle is going to be a really good combo with the flyer. So opponent's got to contend now. They're going to have to block. I guess we should have blocked last turn with the cavalry. Bit of a misplay. So opponent's plan here is to attack to gain the energy. Guess they have another blocker, but yeah, we should have blocked the cavalry last turn. We took 3 damage unnecessarily. we block now? Maybe. I guess it's going to be a 5-drop next turn. Still a 2-turn clock either way. Unfortunately, we only have enough mana to do 1. I guess this will have trample. So we should have lethal if our opponent has no interaction. This is trample, yeah. So this is lethal anyway. Opponent must have bricked on the fact it has trample. But it doesn't matter. If they didn't have interaction, we had the Welding Sparks. Okay, we get to go first. And this is a pretty awesome hand. Yeah, we get to go 1-drop into Haster on the play. And then if we top deck any of our vehicles, the Speedway Fanatic just gets even better. Unfortunately, this hand has no late game, so we're going to have to find some. I guess we've got the activated ability of the Life Crafter, but apart from that... I think we're currently 5-1, so 2 more wins or 2 more losses. This deck definitely doesn't feel like a 7-win deck. We have a few rares in our list, but most of it's just commons and uncommons. The Prophetic Prisms have like no synergy in the list at all. They're just there to fill bits of the curb. Ooh, Inventor's Fair from our opponent. This is not something I expected to ever see in Limited. Inventor's Fair. If you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain life, and you can pay 4 to sacrifice it to reveal an artifact. So they must have an artifact worth playing here. I think I'm happy to trade for the Fanatic, since the tokens that it makes anyway will trade. Probably just going to play Gremlins. This way we could play Prism, potentially draw a land, and then play Construct and attack with a massive Gremlins. So Fanatic is entirely on defense now. Ooh, this is nice. There we go. So probably want to play Construct first. Yeah, I think we... So this is going to be attacking for 6. So opponent's going to go to 9. I wonder if we... I think we actually want to play other Gremlins first. So we just attack and then play second Gremlins, and then next turn we can set up to do some big things. No, I think actually we might attack because the Life Crafter can make tokens. Does it make artifacts? It actually makes artifacts as well. We're gonna go for overall damage. Might be a bit greedy since we have the Life Crafter. But unless our opponent can kill both Gremlins this turn, they're going to be taking a ton of damage. Looks like they can't. I don't think they can attack here. So we shall take action. Yeah, that's fine. I wonder if we even need to play Prism. We can just make a 1-1. So this is going to be 6 damage we're attacking for. 6, 12. I think we just swing with everyone, don't we? So our opponent blocks a token to here. This is 12 damage coming in. No, we'll hold back. Yeah, opponent's going to trade off and take quite a bit of trample damage here. Some quite nice synergy here. Ooh, opponent's going to gain a little bit of life. This gets back an artifact when it dies. No artifacts to get back. So I wonder if we just make a 5-5 here. It doesn't have trample. Yeah, I think I'd just prefer not using our cards. Just using our activate abilities. Our opponent's not going to be able to beat... Well, it makes a 4-4, then a 5-5. Our opponent's going to struggle to beat that. We're essentially matching this self-assembler. Oh. Is this right? Yeah, I think opponent made a mistake there. Don't think we want to attack yet. Doesn't seem any point in attacking since our opponent can just get back the artifact with the workshop's assistant. But yeah, our opponent has a lot of artifacts in this list so far. The Inventor's Fair seems kind of worth it. I'm willing to eat my words. But our opponent's problem just gets worse and worse if they don't answer the Lifecrafter, since we've already got a 4-4 out of it. We've got a 1-1, a 4-4, now we get a 5-5. So I'll pack one, pick one, paying off here. Now I think we can... I guess we're just trading off for the same thing. So we'll just repeat again. Opponent's gaining a life each time, but we are getting a massive body. It's getting out of hand very quickly. And we're just not using any of our cards as well. So we get a 6-6 here, and then a 7-7. So I think we're just happy to keep going and keep going. Opponent's on a little bit too much life to attack past at the moment. So this has to attack. So in case our opponent has a removal spell, I guess we just... If our opponent kills one of our creatures, we'll block like this. Gets killed 6-6. How many of these does our opponent have? The answer is 3. So I think we might just want to play this to get an extra creature. Just speed up this process a little bit. Since I think it's just a matter of time, we just need to close the gap as fast as we can. And I think we might be able to... Our opponent can double block some of these. I guess we'll hold back for one more turn. But the tokens are now massive. If a 7-7 wasn't big enough. So they could have Yahenni's expertise. That would kind of wreck our board. Oh, we can't actually block that of artifact creatures. Guess we can just really attack the 7/7. Because our opponent just blocks though. We're kind of in a bit of a board stall. We need really enough power and toughness to be able to break through. But we're making one creature without any evasion each turn, and our opponent's putting down a creature each turn. Ooh, they found an answer though. So now I think we're in a position where we have to start attacking. Our opponent's forced our hand. We shall attack for 7. Wait, if we attack with everyone, our opponent has 4, 5, 6 blockers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they'll only take 3, 5 overall. 5 overall. Let one more creature through. Got to start answering these creatures eventually. Fortunately, it's not one more power. So I really want to find like a removal spell off the top. We just can't really attack in on the board state. We haven't got enough damage to kill our opponent. Doesn't really change. Yeah, our 6/6s can't get past the 6/7 as well. Opponent gets a redraw. (17 to 18), so our opponent will deck first. I guess we'll deck first, but we have enough cards that we're happy to redraw. What are we waiting for? Welding Sparks? Our vehicle will be quite good because we have the Speedway Fanatic. We've just got nowhere near enough. See what the event... Oh, the Inventor's Fair is good that they're sacrificing it. Hopefully we can play through the artifact that they go to grab. But the life gain's done them well. Ooh. Dynavolt Tower. That's going to start picking up our creatures. I can imagine that's only going to hit us like once. It's going to essentially trade for one creature. That's not bad. I wonder if we just start getting aggressive. We could Nature's Way on our 6/6. If we Nature's Way on their Fen Hauler, they have to block with something. They'll have to block the Fen Hauler unless they keep it out of combat this turn. We'll wait a little bit. I think we need more. I just wonder if we could do it in 2 attack steps. Because I'm confident we wouldn't die in the backswing, because our opponent would have to make enough blocks. The fact is, most of their creatures outmatch a lot of ours. I don't think this card's necessarily playable when limited. You need a lot of instants and sorceries to make this worthwhile. This makes me think we can do it now. Yeah, I think this is enough. So we can harness lightning the Fen Hauler and then just kill one of the self-assemblers and then swing. I think that's okay. So we shall zap the Fen Hauler. And then I think we're going to swing now. I think we're in a position where we can do this. They have 6 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll leave like some number of servos back in case we need to block. I guess we'll just attack like this. This is going to force our opponent to trade off a section of their board here. And a lot of our creatures have tramples, so they kind of need to block. I think this is the best case scenario we're going to get. Our opponent's going to trade off a load of their board. We're going to be left with a reasonable sized board, but we won't be able to die on the backswing. The fact our cavalry has vigilance as well, it's going to work out quite well. So our opponent's taking the obvious blocks. Trying to kill off as much of our board as possible. But it looks like they're going to take a massive chunk. Opponent's got to be careful of this math. I thought maybe we should have just swung with everything. There's no way we're dying on the backswing. Pillarbug's going to game up to 20, and then they'll... I can imagine they'll attach the Inventor's Goggles to it next turn, and they'll have lifelink again. So opponent would have taken 5 additional damage. To bear that in mind. So yeah, our opponent would have been dead had we have attacked with... We would have had exactly lethal had we have attacked with everything. Nice to know, but I doubt our opponent's going to recover from this unless they have a board wipe. Let's go, opponent. It's been an epic game either way, though. It's massive board stall. I think both players played relatively well. Yep, unfortunately I think our board's just too big here. Because we ended up attacking, we put them in a situation where we attacked when it was convenient for us. They did combat really well though. Let's just full swing. So we get to eat their whole board here and deal more than lethal to them. Good game, opponent. That was definitely really fun. Long and grindy, but fun. Our 1-drop just completely paying off for us there. Built our entire board up and earned us into platinum. Or diamond even. Okay, currently 6-1, so this could be the last game. And I think we're going to keep this. This is such a subpar 2-drop. Unless you're in a dedicated energy deck, I don't think you want to run this. We're going to start with this though, since we have gremlins. Druid matches up really well. So just going to play Barrage next turn and get in there. Hopefully our opponent doesn't play something that can trade with the gremlins. They did not. Okay, so I'm really liking our opponent's start here. And I think we can't really... So next turn we can... Yeah, we're not going to play the extra one. So next turn we can play gremlins and play prison and then crew the barrage with the gremlins that entered this turn and still get in there with the gremlins that's currently on board. Wonder where they're going to fit this counter. Thought it'd be on the fretwork colony so they could attack. I don't know if we're going to trade with this fretwork colony. Maybe. I like the idea that our opponent's taking a damage each turn. That is unfortunate. Looks like our opponent doesn't want to trade with it. So I think we're just going to stick with the plan. Opponent might... Oh, I thought they were going to throw away their 2-drop there. So we can crew next turn and double Welding Sparks if necessary. Ho 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 ho. Died to this Tusker so many times. So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 we're taking. That'd be why they didn't trade with the Tusker. Taking 12. I'm going to take it. So we can remove Tusker, remove, I guess, Fretwork Colony, and then 2, then we're taking 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's still too much. Here we can deal them 5. So I guess we just have to ambush our opponent in combat. So we animate, block, Druid of the Cow will take 6 and double Welding Sparks. Since I don't think there's a way to kill them now. This is crew free, so we'd have to tap both our creatures. If our opponent has anything relevant here, we might be in big trouble. Might be able to blow them out if they have a fight spell. So we're not out of the woods, but we're getting there. That's probably sealed our fate. Yeah, makes a token. Maybe not actually. If we play this, make a token, we can crew with this. Attack for 4. So 5, opponent trumps with the 1/1, 4, opponent take 3 trample, and 2, so we're like 2 off lethal. And then we'd have a 1/1, 2 off lethal, so they wouldn't actually have to block. Can we survive an attack? I think we can, but we're chumping all the way. So if we make a 1/1, the 3/3 can block, the 3/3 can crew. This becomes a 4/3. We attack with everyone. Opponent throws the 1/1 in front of the 5/5. So blocks the 2/2 here and takes 4 overall. Falls to 4, and then we're just dead to what they've got coming back. We've got a 1/1 to block their Druid of the Cow. Maybe our opponent decides to sit back. Think we're dead here. We're not dead, but if our opponent has something, we're dead, but we're not dead on board. That's going to put us dead next turn. We need to top deck an answer to this Aethersphere Harvester next turn. I think opponent's just working out combat. Moving over all the creatures. They're just going to try and do it with the Aethersphere Harvester next turn. So we're just dead to the Oversphere Harvester, so we need to just swing with everyone, I guess. Opponent should be able to just block with the Oversphere Harvester, give it lifelink, make some favourable, favourable blocks with the Druid. Yeah, that was good enough. They were taking 3. Opponent might be worried about what they're going to lose to, because they've quite clearly got lethal, but 2 mana up with 1 card in hand makes you think. Could be Invigorated Rampage. Invigorated Rampage would get our opponent here. Yep, good game, opponent. Swing back for the win. Thought they were going to give lifelink as well, but good game. Okay, we get to go first, and this hand looks okay. I'm going to keep it. Nature's Way, not great in this hand. And Sage is not a great 2-drop as it is. We ran a little bit low on playables. We're currently 6 and 2 as well, so this is the last game of the draft regardless of how we do. But it's interesting to see that a deck with not too many great cards, we're making concessions and having to play Sage of playing the Sage. But it works out quite well. Opponent's gonna kill off our creatures. Hopefully we top deck a forest next turn. Gonna just try and run our opponent down. Did not top deck forest. I think we just get him for 4. We could have played Brawler there. Might have been better. Hopefully this is just going to be enough. Just keep attacking for 4. I mean, this is exactly what Gruul wants to do. Hopefully we put our opponent in a position where they're on the back foot and they need to stabilize. Ooh! Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, create an XX colorless construct artifact token, and you can pay 5, exile it, return all instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty mad. So outside of a board wipe, I think we might have it. I think our opponent got off to a little bit of a slow start. I mean, yeah, opponent could definitely put it round still. See what they got. They got another instant or sorcery. Oh, okay, so opponent's not out of it. We can't attack. Opponent's stabilized on 3, and yeah, this is a pretty good card. Fortunately, we're just not drawing lands. think we just want to go around our opponent here. This is excellent, though. So I think we're going to do the same again next turn and then go barrage. And hopefully just go around. And then we'll play barrage and the frantic can give it haste. Yeah, I don't think it's worth attacking now. I mean, we put up. I guess they can crew the express. No! Opponent's so fortunate they killed the fanatic. So close. We could just have lethal here. Our opponent has to block very strangely. Oh, they are blocking properly. So, free power creature. Yeah, we'll kill these two, I guess. And we shall shoot this. So, like that. We'll kill the express. Yeah, our opponent blocked correctly. They knew what they were playing around. Removal spell. We've still got some goodies coming up. Nice. Opponent's going to have to start chipping in at some point. Fortunately, we're just not hitting our lands. So we're going to have to take another hit from this enraged giant. Probably just passing the turn. No point attacking the barrage. We'll do it all next turn. I think we'll just swing with everyone, and we've got Welding Sparks. I mean, we should have attacked with the barrage, actually. I guess we actually couldn't. Yeah, we'll pay the energy. But we have the Welding Sparks for the giant, and then we'll deal 4 trample. That's fine. How much trample are we going to deal? Yeah, 4. Good game. I think we just put our opponent on the back foot a little bit early. Well, I've fallen to 1 actually. But so had we have attacked with our tokens, we've made so many misplays this draft. This has been very up in the air. We've had not a very good deck and made quite a few misplays. But sometimes you're favoured. Whew. Managed to pull it through. I have no idea how. We certainly do not deserve that win at all. We should have, well, I guess we couldn't have crewed at the end, but we should have attacked all of our servos to put it away. There was a few previous games that we made a few misplays, though we still ended up winning. So, yeah. It doesn't often happen that you make that many mistakes and still end up pulling it round. But yeah, that was the draft. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's just have a quick review of the list. This is the first time I've played Gruul, actually, and we just had an insane amount of removal. We picked up double Welding Sparks early, and then we got Hungry Flames. What other removal pieces do we have? We had a Harness Lightning, Nature's Way, which was our second pick, just wanted to stay in green. Our first pick was just exceptional. I think she made a few tokens throughout the game, but most of the time, one game it just made XX colorless constructs and it just ended up winning us the game. It's really difficult for your opponent to keep up with a new token that gets 1 power and toughness bigger every turn. Just, yeah, pretty mental. We ended up playing the Gremlin. We never saw it. We ended up scrying it to the bottom in one of our games. But, yeah, I think this is going to be playable. Like, there's a lot of artifacts running around, and some people are main decking Fragmatizes, and there's the free drop that destroys a target artifact or enchantment and you gain 2 life. More playable than the Gremlin, but the Gremlin can also crew vehicles, which is definitely relevant. Blossoming Defense, yeah, I think this is really good. This ended up getting us out of a situation in the part of the draft. I can't remember if we ended up winning or losing, but it was okay. Blossoming Defense is what it is. We traded a 1-for-1 for the map as well, so we could trigger our Revolt, though we only had 1 Revolt card. I initially made a mistake with Prison, and for some reason blanked and thought you had to sacrifice it to add a colourless mana, so it would also trigger Revolt, but it didn't matter. It helped with our Brawler from time to time, but overall, this was basically just a 38 card deck with 2 Prisms in it, so we could have, if we go back to the sideboard quickly, had I made some changes, I probably would have brought in the vehicle overall, since I knew that you didn't have to sacrifice these anymore, played 1 Plains, and maybe Chandra's Pyrohelix just to answer some 1 toughness creatures, or maybe the Strike. But yeah, with that amount of removal, it was just really, really good. Tiger, we know this is good already. The Gremlins, these, if you have a ton of artifacts and when you pair them with Outriders, they're very good. You get a free Trample a body, but then you also pump the Gremlins on curve. The Barrage, I think, is one of the better vehicles in the set. This, along with the 4-drop that gets a counter when it attacks, and Aether Sphere Harvester. I think Aether Sphere Harvester is probably the best vehicle, just because it's a 1 crew that can also get lifelink. Volcanic Brawler, just, oh my god, this card is so exceptional. Like, if you're in Gruul, you need to pick these up. We ended up making a concession with the Sage and playing it, even though that we didn't want this. There was no reason to really play this. We didn't really care that much about the energy. Hindsight's 2020, but we'd probably swap it for Chandra's Pyrohelix, though it did deal quite a lot of damage, and that last game we ended up winning, I think, because of the damage this was dealing. But yeah, overall the deck went pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay to some element. If you are interested in seeing any other drafts, remember I post a draft every other day on the channel, regardless of how we do. So it's always surprising. Sometimes we get 3 wins, sometimes we get 5 wins, and sometimes, like today, we get 7 wins. So it's always edge of your seats as long as you don't jump to the spoilers. And every other day in between the drafts, we either have a constructed sort of jank list that we're playing, something I've just thrown together randomly, or we're having part of our mini-series on the channel at the moment, How Viable is Control in Historic, and we're playing Historic Best of 3, going through different control lists and seeing how viable they are, and trying different combinations and refining them as time goes on. If that's something you're really interested in looking at, maybe you should consider subscribing to the channel. That could really help me out, or also dropping the video a like if that's something you really enjoyed the video and you could can be asked to do that. Because I'm such a small YouTube channel, it really does mean a lot. Every single like and subscribe does something for the channel, so you're really helping me out by taking a moment. But if you can't be asked or don't want to do that, do not worry. I'm so thankful that you're here just enjoying the content and made it through to the end of the video. But yeah, like I said, keep an eye out for all of the other stuff coming up on the channel, and until then, stay safe.